Good morning, fourth graders. So today, for the first part of math, we are going to go over this paper that you did last Friday. This gives a great sampling of all the different things that we've learned about in the last couple of weeks that you will find on the test tomorrow. So today, as review, I'd like to go over this. You should have a grading marker in your hand, and note please where you've done well, where you might make mistakes. You'll want to take a look at it and figure out why so that you don't make the same mistakes on the test coming up. Let's begin, shall we? The first section shows a line plot, and the question that's a little hard to see is the number of students surveyed. So of course I counted all the X's and I found that there were 17 students. You're going to want to be really careful to include each label for almost every answer in these kinds of problems. What is the range? The range is the difference between the highest 4 and the lowest number of hours, 0. So the answer is 4 hours. Put that label on it. What is the mean? The mean is by adding all of them up and dividing by that 17. But sometimes I hope that you realize that because our grid here our plot looks so balanced, I hope that you can pretty much tell that it's the mean will be somewhat in the middle, and it's almost always going to be in the middle. So it will be 2 hours, and I don't even have to figure it out mathematically. The mode, what is most popular? Well, you can see it's a tie between 2 hours, 3 hours, and 4 hours. 1 hour, 2 hours, and 3 hours. So there are actually 3 modes for this line plot. Next will be, again, if we just have set of data numbers, we should be able to remember that median's in the middle. Mean is mean. It makes us do 2 things. Mode is most often, and the range is the difference between the high and the low. So for this, remember the first step is to always write them from least to greatest. The mean, I took my calculator, carefully added them up to get a sum, divided by those 7 numbers, and my mean was 36. What's the one in the middle? Well, take away a low, take away a high, and you see that the middle one, the median, is 35. Now there's no mode on this one because no number stands out as being more popular or repeated more often. So just say no mode or none. Number 2, again, always order your data from least to greatest. Now the mean, I add them all up with my calculator, divide by 8, and my mean is 37. I'm not putting a label on this because these are just numbers, okay? The median, the one in the middle, this is a tricky one that threw us when we did the assignment because I never really showed you how to do this. What if I have an even number like I have here with 8 different digits? When I get toward the middle, I see that 2 numbers are left behind, or left in the middle, 31 and 35. How do I figure out that average? Well, I'll just show you really quickly on my calculator how I would do it. But you can easily do it on paper as well. I take 31 plus 35 equals 66 and divide by 2. I am simply finding the average of those 2 numbers, or the mean of those 2 numbers. It is 33. The median number is 33. The mode is 31 because it's listed twice. And to find the range, it's a difference between the high, 93, minus a low of 9, and that difference is 84. So the range of these numbers are 84, and you can see it is a pretty big range because I go all the way from a single digit of 9 all the way up to 93. Moving on. What time is it? You will see some clocks on your test. So what time is it in 35 minutes? Well, I'm thinking it's 12:15 right now. I know 30 minutes is on the 9 and 35 minutes, the big hand would be on the 10. We're still in the 12 o'clock hour. The answer is 12:50. Number this too. What time will this clock be in 6 hours? Well, right now it's 8:30. I know that 6 hours is a half a clock, so I guessed almost right away that it would be 2:30. But if you don't see that, then you move and count. 8 to 9, 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2. So those are my 6 hours, and it would be 2:30. How much time has passed? That's called elapsed time. So I ask myself, do I want to count all the way to 1:05? Yes, I do. So I go 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 12 to 1. I have 4 hours, which would stop me at 1:05. So I'm thinking of a clock. 1:05, big hands on the 1. I've got to get myself all the way to the 15 part mark where it's number 10. So I can count by 5s. Here we go, using this clock. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So this is the proper way of writing elapsed time. 4 hours, 45 minutes. No digital time will be allowed on the test. Next, if I'm starting at 7:45 and going to 10 o'clock, do I want to count hours up until 10:45? The answer is no, because I don't want to go that far. I want to only stop at 10 o'clock. So I go 7 to 8, 8 to 9. All right, there's my 2 hours, leaving me at 9:45. I imagine where I am on a clock. I'm on the 9 with 45, and I've got to get up to the 10 o'clock, which is the big hand on the 12. How many minutes is between that? Or time is elapsed? 5, 10, 15 minutes. Your answer is 2 hours and 15 minutes. In this other little section on time, we do need to remember some of the key numbers. So for example, 3 years, how many weeks? Well, there are 52 weeks in 1 year, so 52 times 3, there would be 156 weeks. What if I have weeks, a year and weeks turning into just weeks? Well, remember, there's 52 weeks in 1 year plus the 9 more, and that would equal 61 weeks. Next one, 2 centuries. Oh, cent. Oh, that always means 100. So 2 times 100, 2 centuries would be 200 years. Careful with this one. You're turning years and months into months. Bigger to smaller, I always multiply. There are 12 months in 1 year, so 12 times 2 years is 24, plus those additional 4 would be 28 months in all. A couple more. Hope you're getting a lot of these right. How about the calendar? Day and date with capital letters and making it really, really properly looking. Let's take a look. What's 4 days after April 10? I go find April 10, which is that Sunday you don't see real well. Move and count. 1, 2, 3, 4. Thursday, comma, April 14. This one. What is 3 days after May 12? I go find May 12. I can count, move and count 9 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is 9 days after May 12? Saturday, May 21. And if I have to find those temperatures, remember, if I see them, they're both positive, I do a subtraction problem with any regrouping. The correct answer is 36 degrees Fahrenheit. This one I see both negative temperatures. So both of these temperatures stay within the negative zone. I do a simple subtraction problem. 20 take away 4 is 16 degrees Celsius. I do not need a negative sign when I'm finding the difference. That difference just between those two numbers is like a distance on the thermometer of 16 degrees. Next one, I see 2 positive numbers, so I'm going to do a subtraction problem, and the answer is 24 degrees Fahrenheit. Now here I see a negative number and a regular number, positive. That is the one and only case in which you will need to add. 14 plus 0 is 14 degrees Celsius. So the test that you are going to take tomorrow has very much all these types of problems. So if you did well on this paper, you're in really good shape. For part 2 today, you will be doing the review test. So I want you to do that really well too, because you're going to just get exposed to, remember, that mean, median, mode, and all this stuff that you see on this page. You get one more practice at it before we take the real test on Tuesday. So continue to just apply. If you only got a few wrong today, I hope you only get a few yesterday on this paper. I hope you only get a few wrong on your practice test, and you have one more chance to ask some really good questions so that you can do wonderful on our chapter test tomorrow. Thank you. Have a great day.